I know this is from your Ask the Insiders on the Orange and Brown report, and I found it really interesting. Is Kevin Stefanski not a true head coach?
So the rhetoric around this question is kind of like, hey, is he not a true head coach because there was some question as to whether he answered or hired his assistants, his coordinators, without help, right? Or he had the final say, because that's how the NFL does things, right? And then, so it should be on the head coach. I think 100% he gets credit for the hires, but I don't think that anything should be like he should be looked at as any less of a leader or head coach because he collaborated with his front office in making a decision about Schwartz and their special teams coach, Ventrone. So I just don't know. I think that's kind of a silly premise, right? I think that collaboration is what you want. So the more of that, the better. And certainly he should get credit for the hires because he has final say.
Yeah, the other thing about it is there's a learning curve in any job, especially head coach. He is a really good offensive coach. Let's see what he does game management now with a quarterback that he likes. I think he's calling plays around deficiencies of the quarterbacks. His first, even Baker Mayfield, the year he had a really good year. There were some things you didn't want Baker Mayfield to do.
He's had to in the past, right? He's had to kind of guide this offense where he wanted. He's had to scheme guys wide open and kind of, lead Baker to what's going to be there. Same thing with Jacoby, right? And Jacoby played really well, but a lot of that should be given to Stefanski because he put him in good positions to be efficient as a passer. His best, performance so far of his career, right? So he should be given credit for that stuff. And, it's interesting when you talk about a head coach and offensive, defensive guys that are getting jobs. I think I've mentioned this before, but I think it's so key in the NFL that you have an offensive head coach or your coordinator as your head coach. You didn't have to be your coordinator necessarily or your play caller, but your offensive mind as your head coach. Otherwise, it's really hard to keep continuity on the offensive side of the ball because anytime your OC has success, if you have a defensive head coach or, like the Ravens do kind of a CEO head coach, which can work, right? But you're going to get your OC poached by other teams, right? They're going to come take the guy as soon as he figures it out, and you have a good offense, and you're going to have to, fill in behind the teams that have an OC, like the Chiefs or their offensive mind as their head coach. Andy Reid, they never have to worry about somebody coming along and poaching their play caller or their guy that's running the offense. So I think that's the best way to do it in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree. We've seen how important quarterback position is, and I agree with you wholeheartedly.